My guest today is none other than Jide Johnson, very renowned public affairs analyst. Jide, such a pleasure to have you on board this morning. Can you hear me?
Hello, good morning. I can hear you.
All right, let's hit the ground running, right? If you remember, President Tinubu's predecessor, former President Muhammadu Buhari, had he had a goal. He wanted to reduce dependence on oil, heavy dependence on oil. So he said, why not diversify the economy? And he had his sights set on agriculture. I don't know how well that worked. But this is my question, though. What are the main sectors that Nigeria needs to diversify into in order to achieve economic sustainability?
You can take that again. I couldn't. I lost you.
All right. Did you get the part where I talked about former President Muhammadu Buhari trying to diversify the economy? Did you get that part?
Yes.
All right. So my question now is, what are the main sectors that Nigeria needs to diversify into in order to achieve economic sustainability? Talking about the Nigeria of today.
When people talk about the first step to national security is food security. If you can feed yourself, then you are exposed to danger. The security of your national is exposed to danger. So the first step is, what measure the government take in investing in agriculture? Agriculture was the mainstay of the Nigerian economy before the discovery of oil. In actual sense, agriculture contributed close to about 80% to our GDP in the 50s and the 60s, and then it was a major employer of labor then. About 60% of the labor force came from agriculture, and it was agriculture that they used to build the northern region, used to build the western region, used to build the eastern region, and there was no discovery of oil in the First Republic. The three regions were sustained by agriculture, and then we were food sufficient, and then we generated a lot of revenue from export of food and cash crops. Don't forget, we exported palm kernel, we exported rubber, cotton, cocoa, and the rest of it. You can go on and on and on and on and to talk about that. And what we have seen with the discovery of oil is complete abandon or neglect of the agricultural sector, to the point that Nigeria, that was food sufficient, now had to rely on importing food, and we waste a lot of resources, foreign exchange, on import of goods for consumption, and products for our manufacturing sector, which more or less has gone moribund. So as far as I'm concerned, when we talk about diversification, I don't look at diversification. I just think that there's a need for us to return back to the basic and reinvest in what sustain our economy even before the discovery of oil, and which is agriculture. And if you look at Nigeria, we are so blessed with arable land left, right, and center. All you need to do is to travel through the length and breadth of this country and look at the kind of land and human resource that God has blessed us with. So if you want to turn around this economy, first we must be serious about the major investment in the agricultural sector. Every nation tends to, in international trade, tends to exploit where it has comparative advantage. And I can assure you that when it comes to food production, when it comes to cash crop production, Nigeria has a comparative advantage. It is just that we become lazy with the discovery of oil. All we need to do, you don't need any kind of intellectual investment in the extraction of oil. Just get the resources, you extract the oil, and you sell the oil, and you make money. But in agriculture, you require some measure of investment in terms of time, in terms of resources, in terms of expertise, in terms of knowledge, and in terms of timing, in terms of when it begins to yield for you. So that might take, if we invest heavily in agriculture, I can tell you, if you go back to the farm settlement, one, we create employment opportunities. Two, a lot of our teaming youths that are roaming the street, we get employment opportunities. Two, we generate revenue through export of these crops, whether cash crops or the one we use for food crops, which invariably contribute to our economy, and at the same time it will help to strengthen and stabilize the naira, because we are making more money to measure our export is covering up for our import, and invariably it increases the growth of our economy. So to really grow this economy, when people begin to talk about other sector, I think the first sector we need to look at is agriculture.
Okay. All right, Jide Johnson, thank you very much for that. So if I get you correctly, you're saying that if you go back to agriculture, it might be a solution to our economic crisis. But I would also ask, what about the other mineral resources? We have so many. Nigeria is blessed with a whole lot of mineral resources that we've not even begin to tap, or maybe some people are tapping secretly. I mean, if you look at gold.
Your end, the volume is.
Yes.
I can only hear you faintly. Struggling to hear you.
All right. I said that from what you just said earlier on, you're saying that if we go back to agriculture, it might be probably a total solution to the economic crisis in Nigeria. So I'm asking again that what about mineral resources that Nigeria is also blessed?
When you go back, exactly. When you go back to agriculture, one, you are going back to the land. And everything that you require is already in the land. The oil you extracted from the land. Then you talk about solid minerals. That's another aspect that we have not really exploited. Look at Burkina Faso. Look at Niger, very close by to us. They don't have oil, but they have solid mineral. The solid mineral was managed for them by France since independence. But last year they stopped France from managing their resources from themselves. They took over the management of their solid mineral. Now look at Nigeria and look at how we have been blessed with solid mineral, whether it's in Zamfara, it's in Borno, or it's in Nasarawa, or it's in Osun State. You go through the length and breadth of this country. But what happened to these solid minerals? What happened to this extractive industry? Now, the government itself is not making money from it. We have citizens of this country with committing nefarious activity, making money from it. How have we maximized the opportunity we have in terms of solid minerals that we have in this country? There has never been a comprehensive approach from the government to harness that particular resources. And like I told you, the issue of oil, look, let me tell you this. If you are someone that, you sit in the office, you don't have to think, you don't have to work, all you need to do at the end of the month, there's one revenue or the other for you, which is invariably what oil has done for us. Whether we like it or not, you sell the oil is extracted, the ones they want to steal, they steal, and the little ones that we want to have, we have. At the end of the day, we have some revenue, and all the governors and the ministers will go to Abuja and they will do the annual monthly allocation, they will allocate money to themselves. So it has rendered those in government, those who have charged with the responsibility of managing affairs, it has rendered them lazy. The lazy man cannot think. Now, it has rendered them, they can't think outside of the box. All what they wait for is the revenue that comes on monthly basis that accrues from the sales of crude oil. And what about nations that don't have crude oil? How do they make revenue? And that's the reason why some of us are afraid that oil should dry. That the oil should dry. Rather than be a blessing, the oil has been somewhat a cause for us in Nigeria. So if you are that kind of a person that you know what, at the end of the month, which we say in my local parlance, ogota, whether you work or you don't work, whether you think outside the box or you don't think outside the box, revenue will come from the sales of crude oil, and you have money to share for government. And then you can use the leverage of government also to borrow and use the oil that you have not extracted for the next 50 years to borrow money from international agencies, international bank. And then you become lazy. You become lazy and you can't think outside of the box. The challenge we have had is we have leadership that can't think outside of the box. Compare the set of leaders we have had in the Second Republic with the Third Republic, and then in the present Fourth Republic. Compare those leaders with the leaders we have in the First Republic that do not have access to oil. And look at the investment they made in terms of infrastructural investment. Look at the investment they make in terms of educational investment. Look at the investment they make in terms of societal development, investment in Nigerians through scholarship and the rest of them. And then you compare that and look at, it was through money from agriculture that we did the first TV station in Africa. It was through money from agriculture. You have the highest pyramid in Granite Pyramid, they did not. It was due to money from agriculture that you have the first TV station, the tallest building in Africa. Now, why is it you have discovered oil? Have we matched all those things? No, because you have leaders that can't think outside of the box. And that's the challenge. And what do those people do? They make investment in agriculture, massive investment. They create commodity boards, whereby you can go as a farmer, you have access to all of these things. Now, what comprehensive program do we have for farmers in this country? In the past, the richest people in Nigeria in the 60s were commodity traders. They were not government contractors. I can be validated. This my claim can be validated or invalidated with facts. Now, the richest Nigerians were not government contractors. They were traders. They were commodity traders. They were traders in cash crops and food crops. Where are they? The richest people in Nigeria today, who are they? They are government contractors.
You know, what you did was just to open a can of worms, Jide, but it's also, you just re-echoed what Dr. Shashayin once upon a time said, that he has a problem with governors going to Abuja at the end of every month to share money, and you don't see how this impacts the lives of the citizens. Now, let me take your attention to somewhere else a little bit. If you remember, at the start of his administration, President Tinubu was big on attracting foreign investment. I don't know how you will rate his success so far, but this is my question. How can Nigeria attract more foreign investment to support its economic growth and sustainability goals?
Well, I have a different perspective to foreign investment.
All right.
They say charity begins at home. Nobody will help you to grow the economy. And Americans grew their economy. Chinese locked up their country for almost 50 years without opening their country to the rest of the world. And China was a bit of a third world country, and before you know it, by the time they open up their country, they've achieved massive industrialization, they've achieved massive economic growth. No, but Chinese did not invite foreign investors. The Indians did not invite foreign investors. I've never seen an economy that grows with investment from foreigners, but rather the investment from that starts, the basis of the economy will start from the investment from their citizenry. And when their citizenry grow the economy to a certain degree, they begin to invite and foreign investors to come and partner with them. Government does not have the capacity to invite foreign investors. It is the citizens that have made investment in the economy. For example, let me give you an example. Let's say Dangote refinery, now he has proven the fact that refinery can be established and can be successful. Now Dangote is now looking for foreign investors to say that, okay, let's partner with us, let's establish one refinery in Delta, let's another refinery in Kano. Do you think those that have resources will not partner with him? They will partner. They will rather listen to him because his trial is tested rather than listen to government. So when government embarks on this foreign trip, I call it a jamboree trip to invite foreign investors. It's a waste of time. What have you done to encourage local investors? What form of regulation do you have in place? What form of incentive do you have in place to encourage your citizens, whether you're citizen in the country or citizen in diaspora, for them to come back home and invest their hard-earned money? That's why they say charity begins at home. Look, every successive administration, even including governors, have gone for foreign investment. Have you ever seen the American president or governors from the 50 states of America coming to Nigeria, coming to Europe to look for foreign investors in the economy? Do you think they don't want investors in the economy? What you do is to create an enabling environment that allows your citizens to invest, an enabling environment that allows your citizens to invest in your economy, to grow your economy, and then they begin to look for partners outside the shores of the country, either from your citizens in diaspora or from foreigners to come and invest in the economy. All these ones that the president go about, they stay in one hotel and they travel abroad, they collect their start code, they use our hard-earned resources to look for foreign investment. I'll ask you, how many FBI did Buhari administration achieve? How many FBI did Jonathan administration achieve? How many FBIs did Yar'Adua administration achieve? How many FBIs did Obasanjo administration achieve? Now, how many that we see?
All right.
So invariably, this one that the president is embarking upon is just another jamboree of wasting our hard-earned resources.
All right, thank you very much, Jide Johnson. I wish we had more time, but you have been very brilliant and we really have to go. Well, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us this morning.